The only supplements I do are I take some iodine and I take some vitamin D in the winter. I live in Wisconsin, so I take vitamin D to substitute because we don't have sun here. And I just recently started taking vitamin C and magnesium after watching Thomas Levy, an interview he did that completely rocked my world, which you should have him on your show, by the way. I'm trying to get it. I emailed him. I want him to talk to me. Dr. Thomas Levy, fascinating. He basically says we're facing this epidemic of a vitamin C deficiency and a magnesium deficiency as well. Most people know that, but we're supposed to make our own vitamin C and we don't. And why don't we? Because we're supposed to. We do it as babies and then we lose the ability to not make vitamin C anymore. And vitamin C is a major antioxidant. Our body should be making it. All other carnivores make vitamin C. Why don't we? So he has kind of opened my world up because I wasn't taking vitamin C and I was doing pretty good. I felt fine. I'd have no issues. And then I started taking it over the last month, vitamin C and magnesium. And I have noticed a huge increase in my energy and mood and a huge increase in my level of sleep. So I would have rated myself at like a level 9 for sleep prior to this. And now I'm like 12.5. I'm like above the moon. I'm like, how could I sleep any better? I sleep like a kid now. So yes, I'm kind of big on vitamin C and magnesium right now, just from watching Dr. Thomas Levy's interviews and kind of studying what he has going on over there. And I think he's right. I think we should be producing vitamin C and we're not. And so we probably need to take it. Kind of like type 1 diabetics are supposed to produce insulin and they don't. And now they have to take it.
Explain more about that, the evolution and how there's very few animals, including us, that don't produce their own.
I'm not the expert on this yet. I hope to become. But again, Dr. Thomas Levy is the one that knows all of this stuff. So I recommend anybody go watch his videos. But in short, he talks about, and he's written 13 books. His books are great, all of them. But he talks about the fact that goats, for example, so goats on a regular day will produce anywhere from 7,000 to 8,000 milligrams of vitamin C. When they're under stress, they produce 20 to 25,000 milligrams of vitamin C under stress. And it's because your body needs, basically, if you understand the Krebs cycle, you know that anytime you undergo the Krebs cycle or you have toxins in your system, your body creates oxidative stress. And when you're under cortisol and you're rapidly burning glucose, you're creating a lot of oxidative stress. And so you need vitamin C to be deposited into the cell to quench the cell so it's not rusting, because that's what oxidative stress really is. And so our bodies, our livers should be making vitamin C, like they make glutathione. Glutathione is another one of our body's major antioxidants. But we should be making vitamin C and we're not. And he believes, as well as I do now, that it's an epigenetic factor. We have all of the genes to do it. We have all the whole rails are there. It's just not working. The DNA isn't processing it and making it, but we have the ability to in our genes. But for some reason, that gene is switched off, and now we're not making the vitamin C. And people will probably say, well, it's because we're eating foods with vitamin C when we started eating, lemons and limes, but you're never going to get the amount of vitamin C you need out of produce. You're just not. It's not. He claims we need around 8,000 milligrams of vitamin C a day. He says a 150-pound goat produces 8,000 milligrams of vitamin C a day. So there's no way we're getting enough in just produce, vitamin C. So our bodies are supposed to make it. And that's why I say, is it a lot like type 1 diabetes? These epigenetic factors, now their bodies can't produce insulin, and so they have to take it. And now our bodies don't produce vitamin C for some reason. I have a theory behind it. I think it involves gluconeogenesis. I don't know. I have lots of theories that I would like answered, but I don't know. I think that because we don't perform gluconeogenesis like we used to because of all the carbs we eat and we are dependent on glucose now, that maybe our bodies don't make it as much, you know? It'd be interesting to know if these are some of the questions I have for him. If fetuses, or I'm sorry, if newborns make vitamin C until they're done breastfeeding and then start eating, baby food, at what point do they stop making vitamin C? Is newborns that are fed formula, do they make vitamin C? I don't know. I have all these questions for him. You should have him on your show.
I'll have to look into him.
Ask him those questions for me, Jesse.
It's not on my radar, him or any of this work, so I'm going to look into it. Thank you.
I told Rena about him. I said, you should have him on your show for sure. I emailed him just last week. I've been trying to get in contact with him. I don't know. It's Thanksgiving, so maybe he's just busy right now, but hopefully we'll get connected.
I'd like to connect.
Yep.
Okay, so when it comes to vitamin C, it sounds like newer experiment for you. How much are you doing? And then there's ascorbic acid versus whole food form.
Mm-hmm.
What form are you taking? And then are you spreading that out throughout the day?
Yes, I am. You kind of already know about this, I think, Jesse.
Well, I had somebody on the
out.
show, Morley Robbins. I don't know if you're familiar with his work. He came out last week, actually 2 weeks ago now, and he's not a fan of ascorbic acid. He explains it as the outer exterior of the car, and whole food vitamin C is the car with all the different parts. I'm paraphrasing in a big way here, but he's not a fan of ascorbic acid. So I'm curious if what you're taking is ascorbic acid.
It is, yep. And Dr. Thomas Levy is a fan of ascorbic acid. And so here's my theory on what you just said. Yes, it would be great to get it like in its natural form, but you're not going to get what you need. And this is what Dr. Thomas Levy says is, you really need to supplement with it. And I've been down these rabbit holes with vitamin D as well. Vitamin D is another big one that people want to be really purist about. But what I've seen is, and especially even in my own body, is that I do better on synthetic vitamin D. And, I have a good one. I have a great vitamin D source. But if I don't take it and I can't be outside for 9 hours a day that I need to be to get the vitamin D. And I'm in Wisconsin, so it's just not possible. But not taking it is not an option. I do not feel good. I feel terrible. When I take it, I feel better. So with vitamin C, I've been taking it for about a month now. I feel better. I'm going to continue to take it. And if you listen to Dr. Thomas Levy, you'll hear him say that, he has seen some miraculous things happen with ascorbic acid, just plain old vitamin C. So again, don't let perfection be the enemy of good enough. Sometimes it's just better. Like my husband has to take synthetic insulin. We don't have a choice. If this is the case with us and we are that depleted in vitamin C and we have to get ahead of the curve and rehabilitate our bodies, maybe it's okay to take a little bit in a supplement. Again, I'm pretty pure. I don't those are all the things I take. That's it. I don't take anything else. So, I don't see any reason why you shouldn't take it. I know that people have their opinions on it, but for me, it's how do you feel? How do you feel? If you feel better, if you see improvements, then maybe it's something good for you. So I take about 8,000 right now milligrams a day. I'm sure I'll probably need to adjust as I go and drop it down a little bit. And I do the liposomal vitamin C. So I have, we're doing the Live On Labs has one right now that I'm doing. I also have a Des Bio one I'm doing liposomal. I have several different forms that I'm taking, just because he says it's good to get different forms in. So, I just listened to him. I listened to several of his interviews and I made up my own mind and I went, this is what we're doing. And I take magnesium with it now. And I have just, like I said, noticed so many improvements. I'm not going to stop.
I do think if you ever wanted to test, the whole food form I have, a scoop, which is pretty small, gives about 600 milligrams.
Okay.
So I could see realistically, if you took quite a bit of that, you could get to that 8 grams.
For sure.
But obviously, do your own research. You're feeling good, and everybody has different opinions. But I'm just
Absolutely.
curious because he is big time against ascorbic acid.
Yeah, and Dr. Levy is not. I think it would be interesting for you to have him on. So, yeah, I mean, I'm interested in the whole food forms as well. I'm not opposed to it by any means. I just think if you're trying to get it out of lemon juice, then that ain't going to work. You have to have some sort of supplement form. But if it is a supplement form of whole food, then and it's got, the milligrams that you can read on the label and how much you're getting in, then yeah, go for it. Absolutely.
If you have a couple hours, I think you'd really like this Morley conversation.
Yeah, I'll go
Another
watch
thing
it.
he's anti, and we don't want to stick on Morley with all our time here, but we'll end on this for this part. He is anti vitamin D as well. And I know you
Mhm.
brought that up. So
Mhm.
yeah, everybody again has different opinions. I'm
Yeah,
always learning, experimenting just like you, but I like these outliers and challenging my current beliefs because it's so easy to become dogmatic and stuck in our ways. And, we're around the same age and
yeah,
we're going to be in this world for a long time. And I'm sure we're both going to do a lot of experimenting. And where we're at now would be foolish to assume this is the end game right here.
for sure. For sure. I mean, listen, no ego attached to anything. When I get better information, I'm the first one to admit this is better information and I'm going to try this out. And I think everyone should live their life like that. I said I have reels. You can go back in my Instagram feed and see the reels where I'm like, you don't need supplements. You can get everything from me. I just said a year ago. And now I'm like, nope, wait, maybe we do. Maybe the carnivores need to start supplementing with vitamin C. And here's why. There's better information now. So yeah, you can't just, be so dogmatic. You're right, Jesse. That's a perfect word.
If you enjoyed that clip, you're going to want to head over here and catch a full episode. I'll see you over there.
The reason my program is so different is because I target insulin. Most people today are overproducing insulin. They're eating foods that are triggering a high insulin response, and they're loaded with insulin. Insulin is the master fast storing hormone.